Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Just to respect all the time zones on the world, I know this is a virtual event. We can get the audience from anywhere in the world. So, a warm welcome to all the participants to my session. Today, my session is all about debugging and monitoring in Power Apps. Uh, Huge thanks to all the sponsors. Without the sponsors, I don't think this session will be commenced at all. Huge thanks. And a quick intro about me. I'm Krishna Vandanapu. I have 16 years of IT experience. I'm a business applications MVP and Power Apps community super user 3. What does the 3 means? That there is a ranking system, depends on your participation, depends on the number of solutions you are providing at the community. With your consistency, they are providing a ranking. So I highly recommend all of you to go and provide your time or contribute your time on the community, because community is the one which made me here. I have learned a lot from the community. A big uh, thanks to the people who had introduced the community. And I'm a proven Power Platform solution architect. And I have contributed, as of today, I have contributed 280 plus solutions in the community, in Power Apps community. I have delivered 45 plus sessions in both Office 365 and Power Platform area. When I see Office 365, I'm also a public speaker on SharePoint side. And last but not least, I am a local user group event speaker also. Recently, I have started my own YouTube channel. Now I am a YouTuber as well, but I'm a very beginner in the YouTube. With that being said, I just wanted to turn off my video because I'm using multi-screen. Like this is not going to help us. So I'm just going to close my video. And okay, before we jump onto the topic, always question ourselves that why should I learn this topic? What is debugging? What is monitoring? And why should I learn this? Why should we learn this is when we are developing any solution, any app, any project, it is always handy to know what is happening around the app and around the solution. If we do not know what is happening inside my solution, and if we deliver it, it is not going to yield us. But unfortunately, Power Apps is not a IDE developed tool. What do you mean by IDE? IDE is something that I can install on my local system, and I can open up that environment, or like tool. Example, one of the IDE we all know is Visual Studio. When I create a project in Visual Studio, I can debug that solution using F9. But here in Power Apps is not running on top of a IDE. It is a browser-based application. So when I'm running, when I say browser-based, all my F9 or F10 functional keys will run against the browser. It doesn't run against my solution. So how can I do the debugging? There are two ways to do the debugging. One is a classic way of debugging. First, we will see how we could do the classic way of debugging, and then we will see the new debugging tool what Microsoft has provided, and monitoring. Why do I need to know the monitoring? Is that if I have imagine that let me take a step back. If it is a SharePoint in Microsoft is logging all the events into a log file. If there is anything wrong with my SharePoint site, I'll quickly go onto that log file and look at the log file. I will know what the exception exactly, which means that some kind of logging is going on for me to monitor whether that exception is a valid exception, or it is a user understanding issue. So that kind of thing I can also do in Power Apps. How we can do is something we are going to learn as part of this session. As I said, monitoring support in this session, we will learn monitoring, which is a new thing Microsoft has released as a general availability back in January. They have made it as general available, and we all know that what is general available is means that fully functional, and they have tested thoroughly. Earlier monitoring was there from last 1 year, but it was there as a experimental or a preview. Now it is completely available, and it is good to use even for the production side. What I can do using that monitor is monitor supports several events for Canvas apps and model driven apps. The following is the list of all the supported few important events as of January 2021. So why I'm saying that only few is there are many, but I want to cover only few respecting the time. So let us see all those few in Power App. So why should I know that? As example, I have a team of 7 members. One has joined recently as the 8th member. If I ask the user, the new developer to work on anybody's project, anybody's app which they have implemented, it is always difficult unless I know, unless I debug the code, how it is generating, how it is behaving. So having said that, let me create an app with the existing templates. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a app with the existing template, because assuming that I am using a existing solution, say like demo Canada, say. And if you see, this is a out of the box template I'm creating. So I don't know what is there in that. I should know what is there. So there should be a way for me to debug this solution. It is as good as I'm using a existing solution in my tenant. Now, if I see this, first thing is I need to know what are all the data sources. When I come here and see data source, I don't see any data source. Then where the data is getting saved, I don't know. So how can I debug is, if I see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than 5 screens I have, and there are more and more functionality. I don't know which click is doing what. So how I can do in a classic way is, in the classic or older methodology is, I can add a label and I can say that where is the data coming from. If I see here, it is a gallery, and a gallery items are coming from a collection. It is a collection, and this is getting the data. How do I know it is a collection? If I come here and say collections, these are all the default collections I'm getting as part of the app itself. So I don't know how many records are there as of now from this collection. How I can do that quickly is debugging is count rows of that collection. It gives me number of rows in that collection. So though there are 4 rows, why it is showing only for only 1 row, which means that there is a filter on top of it. OK, the filter is working like this. So this is one way to quickly debug or to understand what is happening on my code. But when I see here, I have a button as open, pending, approved, all, which means that the user is filtering the data source depending on the selection. So as soon as I click on that, it is happening. When I click on all, now I can see all 4. So how I know what is happening behind this button is click on the button. Another way is that I can always say, OK, notify approved. When I come here, approved, I will say notify approved records or fetching. Because I don't know what is happening. So this is the collection. I wanted to say like count rows of this. That will show that will give me an idea what is happening on that. Why it is not happening? Okay, let us say that only I wanted to know where I'm here. When I play the app and I click on that, it clearly shows that OK, approved records are fetching. So this is the way. Another way I can easily identify what is happening inside each and every button click. And when I click on here on a plus button, it is navigating onto this next screen, which is the new expenses. This is the way we used to monitor, or we used to debug in a classic way, which method it is getting called and where it is happening and what are all the number of records inside my collection or inside what I'm rendering on top of my gallery. But recently they made monitoring available completely for the user. Earlier it was a preview or an experimental feature. What does this monitor do is when I click on open monitor, it shows all the key columns or key metadata about the data what I'm showing or what I'm rendering in my app. So when I see here ID of the element and which time it is getting triggered and what is the category. Category is something that whether it is a user request or a control selection or a data source selection, and what is the type of operation, whether it is a post operation or a get operation, or what is the result of that. And this is where it will show the more, it will result info is the one which shows more data about more data about that particular call, and what is the status, whether it is a success status or a failure. If it is success, always shows 200. If it is failure, always shows 400. And how long this call took, it is 2 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever it is, and what is the data source, whether the data source is a collection or a SharePoint data source or external data source, whatever it is, and which control the user clicked on, and what is the property on top of that control, and what is the response size. When I'm getting the data from data source, I will get the data into a collection. So the response size will be this. Apart from that, I also got something called details and formula. OK, let us see how this will help us. Now I have opened the monitor. When I come here, I don't see anything here, but the time I click on open, it started adding events over here. If you see here, it is a user action and operation is I have selected, and the control it is filter open, and it is on select is the property. When I come here, it also shows that what is the property behind that particular button control. If you see here, this is the control, and when I come on here, when I come here, see this, they started logging each and every thing. But how I can add more information here is there is a function called trace. Like the way how I have added notify, I can do a trace function. Using trace, I can say I'm just adding triple star just to differentiate my custom messages with the out of the box messages, stating that user selected approved list, approved expenses. The time I say this, and now you see when I click on approved, it will start more adding over here, which means that this is the result of that actual call. And if I want to add additional information as part of that call, which is as good as server logging in SharePoint or any other out of the box technologies. So SharePoint, which also has a logging mechanism. Here also I can do this logging mechanism. If I come here, it shows each and every line of code behind that button. That way I know which code block is getting executed and what are all the exact code samples I have added as part of that. If I have anything commented also, I can see everything. Say that demonstrating demo of trace function. I just mentioned. If I come here, come back here, and I click this, I can see the entire code block. And remember, when I am getting data from the data source, there is no control on this. It also shows whatever the data which is getting here. When I say filter formula, since it is inside a collection, I will show you a complete the app with a data source with a SharePoint at the end of this monitor module. But for now, just I wanted to show how this exactly works. Now I have completed this and I'm OK with all the functionalities, and I can push this to a production. Now, when I just say that, I'm just saying that save. The time I say, since I'm creating an app from template, it automatically get published. Once it is published, I can share this app with whomever I want. Now I wanted to share this app with Mr. Sai. I wanted to share with him. Now, after I shared with Sai, Sai started complaining me that, hey Krishna, it is not working as I'm expecting. So I don't know what the exception Sai is getting unless I stand next to Sai and see that. But using monitor, I can see from there, from my desk, what Sai is getting exception if I log the events properly. Remember, this only works if you log the events at at every point. If you do not have this trace logging, I don't know user is going where. So by default, it logs each and every call. But if you want to add additional custom logging at each and every action, only one way is that you will have to add trace. Once you add trace, I can get it. If you notice here, while I'm doing this development, I can monitor all my events and all my calls and the result sets effectively. What about if the app is already published? Now the app is published. How I can do that is we can seamlessly monitor a published app also. Now I'm going to click on monitor for that particular app. What I'm doing is select this app, click on monitor. Now it opened the monitor. Here I can say play published app. Click on play published app. This time it clearly shows that you are connected to a monitor debugging session. Those in this session will see events granted by the app, including any data. I repeat, including any data, because this is a sample app I have created out of the box with a template. It is fine. Imagine that I have a sensitive data like finance information or approval, appraisal related information, anything sensitive. Remember that you are not doing it without the consent from the user. Okay, and now if I click on approved, I can see that very much here as user selection approved expenses. But I don't know who is this user, from which session it is coming from, because I am doing it, whether it is my session or Sai session. How do I know? So that is what I said when I wanted to do it. So always remember the logging mechanism. Username as dot full name. This will log which user it is coming from. This call is coming from. Now, if I had to test this, I had to republish. And again, come here, refresh. Select the app, click on monitor. And what happened? It didn't get triggered properly. See, publish, play published app. Now this time it should log my username also properly. Some reason the internet is little slow. Come on, kidding me? Do you guys hear me or no? Could somebody confirm on that?
Yeah, we can hear you.
It is asking me the internet connection. Come on. For some reason, demagogues are not with me today. Come on. Oh God, that's crazy. For the last time, I'm gonna try. If it doesn't work, I'll go to a working model app. There you go. So again, it started showing that when I click on approved. So as per the expectation, if you come and expand here, I can see the username. This way I know which account it is coming from and each and every call. Okay. So this is how I can define. Now I am monitoring here. Now I want to see what size issue when he is complaining about my app. How I can do that is click on connect user. I'll say Sai. This time, don't ask Sai to run the app. Share this URL to Sai, copy this URL and share this URL to Sai because this is the monitoring session I am monitoring to see how it is behaving with Sai's account. Now I'm opening a private window. Say like, if you notice here, it is app.powerapps.com and it is a play event. Now let me log on with the Sai account. Give me 1 minute to get the Sai's ID. This is not the one. Oh God. Now Sai will also get a prompting that, hey Sai, you're not running the session, you are running a app with monitoring event is enabled on top of it. If you, are you sure? Because it include data, you can the person who is monitoring can also see the data. I'll say join. If the time I say join again, it is prompting one more time before I perform any operation. Now if I click on approved, now I'm doing with Sai's account. If I go back to my event, I can see the session is running with the under the account Mr. Sai. If you see here, it is Sai Prithvinath Vandanap. So this is how I can handle, I can monitor what exactly happening on a published app. If the user says that as part of UAT or a production, if user says that, hey, that particular app is not showing the expected result, using this monitoring tool, I can monitor the each and every event. So now that we know how this app works, let me show you the app with the data sources enabled on top of it and get the data from there. Uh, okay, I don't need this session. This is the app. What I'm doing in this app is I'm just getting the data from the SharePoint list. I'm showing. In this, I'm just getting the data, and what I'm doing is I'm performing a search. When I say that sample, okay, looks like I have deleted all the data for other session. Okay, let me add a new record. Okay. In this event, what I'm doing is I'm getting the provided email ID's manager name. And I just say that Kevin get manager. My manager name is David Wilson. When I come here, what it is doing is it is clearly showing that one record select. Okay. One record selected and it is performing a select operation, collecting user button selection on select. And inside this, I can see the formula, entire formula and which event it is performing. Everything clearly, I can see that. So if I have any error, it clearly shows that. Now, if I just say size account and try to get the manager name, I did not get anything. I don't know what's happening here. So when I come here, I can see that 404 not found error. And here it clearly shows that it is a error. The result is error. Earlier it was success. And what is happening is here, when I expand that formula, the formula clearly, the result clearly shows operation is failed because with an exception as manager does not found. So this is how I can monitor and I can debug a app effectively. Now, this app is only sincere apologies that I did not realize that I cleaned the data for this data source. When I come back to this same app, and if I monitor here and play the app, now Sai had complained that particular action is not working. Connect the user and I say Sai, and again I'm just going to run a private account with Sai. If I ask Sai to monitor all the operations, I'll just log all the operations and say that sample expense approver is this, and say create every event. It will log as part of this. Now I can export all the events and I can provide it as a sorry. I can download all these events into a JSON file, and I can provide this JSON to Sai to monitor. Hey, what are all the errors I can see when you are running the app in my monitoring session? This is how I can efficiently monitor the app which is in production or UAT. And what are the limitations as of today is most of the events are getting captured as part of the session as part of the monitor, but future enhancements for this monitor is going to Microsoft is going to enhance the monitor to monitor a variable level and also monitor watch. What does that exactly means is that today in Visual Studio we can add a watch to a particular variable, wherein that variable it will clearly shows that what is the previous value, current value, everything, right? That kind of a behavior they are planning to add for this as well. And next one is monitoring the collections. Also they are planning to extend the monitor support to ensure that as of today, there is no way I know I can see where and all my collections are getting used. If I come here and see variable in collection, I know these are all the collections I have at my app level. There is no way I can quickly see where and all my collections are getting used. If it is a variable, I can I can click on the variable and I can see which way where those variables are. If I see this here, when I click on here, I can see where and all my variables are getting used. But in case of collections, it only shows the collection and collection data here. So when they enhance this monitoring functionality on top of collections, it will be more handy for all the developers to understand where the data is getting stored and how it is getting stored, how to monitor that event. It will be very handy. Any questions so far? Let me quickly look at the chart window. I don't see any questions as of now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at my app in Power App. I don't see monitor icon up in the ribbon.
Oh, it will be on the left hand side. OK, you don't see this monitor at all, this option at all?
Where is your option?
It will be under the advanced tools.
Oh, yeah, advanced. OK. OK, I see monitor.
Yeah,
OK, sorry about that.
No problem. Any other questions?
One more. Can I convert the JSON, or can I move the rows where you see everything up and down and make it into a documentation, which is, give headers and all that?
Unfortunately, it is a log. It is as good as a log file what we see in the traditional server model. So all we have to do is we have to export into Excel and do the required massage over there. But unfortunately, not over here.
So JSON to Excel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? This is a brief introduction about monitoring and debugging. These are the three tutorials I could provide you. Exception handling in Power Apps and Power Automate, and debugging and monitoring. These are the three videos I have recorded on my YouTube channel. I recommend you to go and see because I have covered some more scenarios there. So when you see these three videos, it will help you to create an app in efficient way, and also it will help you to handle exceptions, because in Power App, debugging and monitoring is important. In the equal importance is when you are creating an app, you should create the app with exception handling. Another aspect what I wanted to cover as of today is, which is my perk I always do when I'm doing the sessions. Microsoft has released a new feature for components. Those who are using components, we all know that component doesn't support on select or on change events, because today there is no way I can handle the button clicks or on change events inside a component. Now Microsoft has enhanced the behavior of component by adding this facility also. What happened as of today, it is still not at enhanced to my tenant. What once it moved to my private tenant, what I can see is that I can see another property while creating a component which is called behavior property, and also I can handle all my events, change event, on change event, and on click event inside my component. It was not there earlier. If you see here, this documentation, they were clearly stating that component one dot on change event. So now using this, I can pass the data from here to back to my screen. Earlier, if we have to do this, we always have to put it as an output parameter. But now going forward, we don't have to worry about that. This is one thing. And another thing is that Microsoft has restructured the complete mobile app to render all the apps in the mobile. Earlier, it was little uneasy and very hard to find. Now it is, they restructured, and they have given more and more options to pin the app and also add the filters. The filter, now the filter behavior they modified from the typical filter approach to app store level filter. I would advise you to start leveraging this feature, this enhancement also, so that, because Power Apps is mainly meant to mobility. When you are creating Power App and if you are not targeting mobile users, then I would say like we are doing something wrong there. Okay, so these are the new two things coming into Power App area. And this is my contact information. I'm highly available on Twitter and LinkedIn. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter. And that is my YouTube channel. By scanning that hologram, you could be able to connect to my YouTube channel. I have around 25 videos talking about various scenarios, and including exception handling, monitoring. I have explained various other topics also in my channel. Please provide your feedback by scanning this hologram on my session. And finally, thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions, I'll be here for some time.
Can you send a link in the chat for the survey?
Oh, yeah, I think this is standard. Okay, anyways, I can send that.
Thank you. Thank you for a great presentation.
Thank you. No problem.
Krishna, I got a question.
Go ahead, sir.
You showed the trace function. So I was wondering, when you're building an app, do you put the trace function in every control, or this is something that you will add to the controls you want when troubleshooting?
Exactly. You want to troubleshoot wherever you want to troubleshoot. That is when you need to add that trace. Most of the times, I recommend you to add a trace on each and every database operation. Wherever you see the database operations, you anticipate that there could be a possible challenge. I would ask you to add there.
Okay, so it's during the initial build.
Yes, initial build. It is as good as adding logs in our traditional software development model in .NET or any other technology. We also log, right? So to monitor the log event, this is also like that. So the beauty with Power Apps is unless you open monitor, it will not waste that memory storage or anything. You could come back and ask me, like, it will it chew up my data source, or where it will get stored. It will not get stored anywhere unless you open a monitor. It will not even log anywhere.
Okay, gotcha. All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
It is very new, just a month old. I highly recommend you to make use of this when you need to debug, or when you need to monitor the production apps or apps which are in UAT. Anybody has any other question for me?
There are questions in the chats.
Questions in the chat. Okay, let me go to the chat once real quick. Will the monitor incur additional licensing? No, it is absolutely free. Absolutely free, David. No licensing at all. It is just to monitor, and not even in future also, because it is just in future. I cannot comment on future, but as of today, no. It is completely available. It is GA, general available. So we don't have to worry about that. If it is there any licensing, it would have been by now.
Having difficulty finding your name in the survey.
Oh, sorry about
in
that.
the location, I don't see your name at all.
Oh God.
So you won't see the name in the location. You will only see name of Vivek's maybe in the location, right? So you just pick the location. You just say Canada. And then in the comment, you just say Krishna session.
Oh, okay. No, it's my fault. I attended India and now I'm attending Canada, so I'm all over the map.
Right.
I was looking at the wrong spot.
Yeah. The bootcamp was happening at 75 locations across the world, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting. Thank you.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Okay, Charles, as of today, there is no option to debug the data flows unless you add some custom logging mechanism, because in the flow also I can log event into SharePoint list or onto a Dataverse table. That is the only approach as of today. Unfortunately, there is no mechanism as such like this. Maybe in future Microsoft might come up with something. Did I answer your question? Yeah, I totally agree on that.
Yes, thank you very much, Krishna. Of course, there are logs available in the refresh history, but often the information there is a little bit cryptic and incomplete. Hopefully, Microsoft will enable monitoring for data flows one day as well. Thank you.
Thank you.